You've always been the listener, the helper, the one everyone vents to, leans on, runs to. And for a while, you thought that meant you mattered. But deep down, you started to notice something. They talk, you absorb, and then they leave. Let's talk about what it means to always be the listener and never the one being heard. When you're the listener, you carry everyone's pain like it's your own. You remember details no one remembers about you. You show up for birthdays, heartbreaks, breakdowns, and still feel invisible the next day. People call you selfless, but they don't see the cost. Because what they call strength is sometimes just suppressed exhaustion. Somewhere along the way, you learned that your emotions were inconvenient. Maybe you tried to speak up, but got interrupted, dismissed, or made to feel dramatic. So you stopped, not because you didn't feel anything, but because no one made space for it. You learned to comfort others while carrying wounds no one even asked about. You didn't become the listener by accident. You became the listener because it felt safer than being vulnerable. When you're the one who helps, you don't have to risk being helped and may be disappointed. You took control by caring. You found identity in being needed, because being needed and felt like being loved, until it didn't. Being the listener, it sounds noble, but it can become lonely. You start to notice that people only call when they're falling apart. You hear, "I need you," but never, "How are you really?" You become the background character in everyone else's story. You become a mirror for their pain, but no one reflects yours back. One day, it hits you. You're tired, but not physically, spiritually. You've been everyone's emotional safe space, but you've never had one of your own. And when you finally fall apart, people seem shocked, confused, distant, because they only knew you as strong. Not real, not human, not breakable. There's a kind of grief that comes from being needed, but never nurtured. From being everyone's first call, but no one's safe place. You grieve the friendships where you were always the therapist, the relationships where you were always the anchor. And most painfully, you grieve the version of you that thought being helpful was enough to be loved. You deserve more than one-sided connection. You deserve check-in texts. A shoulder, a quiet, "You okay?" that doesn't require you to earn it. You deserve to be poured into, not just poured out. You deserve to be seen, not just useful. And the fact that no one taught you that doesn't mean it isn't true. This is where everything shifts. When you start telling the truth about your own silence, when you let yourself speak without apologizing, when you say "I need" instead of "I'm fine," when you allow yourself to receive without guilt, you're allowed to take up space, you're allowed to be loud, you're allowed to be heard. You were never too much, too emotional, too deep, too intense. You were just surrounded by people who didn't know how to hold what you carried. But now, you get to choose different. You don't have to be the listener for people who never learned to listen back. You deserve mutual care, mutual effort, mutual healing. You were never just the one who listened. You were the one who waited to be heard. If this made you feel seen, you're not alone. Subscribe because you deserve to be heard too. And you're always welcome back here.